Hello, my name is Ginny, and I'm a Talent Development Officer here at CPABC. I'm excited to present this webinar on practical tips for writing effective cover letters and resumes. By the end of this presentation, you'll have a good understanding of how to elevate your resume and cover letter for your next job search. Let's get started. Let's start with understanding the functions of resumes and cover letters. A resume is a past-looking document that details what you've done in terms of education, professional work, and volunteer work, and other things. It's used to highlight your achievements and accomplishments. Sometimes you'll see the words resume and CV used interchangeably. Technically, they are two different things. A CV is typically used when applying for an academic position, for example, a research or a faculty position. So for our purposes, we're going to use the word resume. A cover letter is a forward-looking document which is used to convey your motivation and enthusiasm for applying to a particular position. It highlights how you're a great fit for the role and the company and how you are the ideal candidate. Now, you may be wondering, are cover letters still relevant? You might have seen on LinkedIn or other platforms that some recruiters and hiring managers don't read cover letters anymore. This can depend on the company and the recruiter. While the number of companies not reading cover letters is increasing slightly, the value of a cover letter remains significant. Cover letters are still a great tool to position yourself as an attractive candidate by conveying your motivation, enthusiasm, and values. They are especially useful if you are changing industries or careers or have limited work experience. For example, if you are making a switch from retail to accounting and you apply for a junior accountant role, your resume might feature a lot of retail experience, but not much accounting experience. A recruiter might dismiss your resume because it doesn't seem like you have the right qualifications on paper. However, if you include a cover letter that explains why you're switching careers and why you will be a good fit, the recruiter will gain a more in-depth understanding of you as a candidate. Additionally, a cover letter can help you stand out from the crowd. If you're applying for a highly competitive role and there are a lot of candidates with similar education and work history, your cover letter can describe your unique motivation, giving you a competitive advantage. So what do effective resumes and cover letters look like? An effective resume is tailored to the job you're applying for. You have identified key skills and qualifications that a job posting asks for and made sure your resume highlights those keywords. A good resume should also have quantified achievements and accomplishments. By doing so, you're providing some metrics to help the recruiters and hiring managers understand the impact of your work, not just a list of tasks you've done. A good resume is also formatted for the human and the computer. The resume should have a simple formatting that is easy for people to read and something that will easily pass through an ATS or applicant tracking system. An effective cover letter is also tailored to the job you're applying for. You have identified, for example, key values of the company in the job description and demonstrated how your personal values are aligned with the company's. A cover letter is not a summary of your resume. It's really used to describe your motivation and fit for the role and position yourself as an excellent candidate. By doing so, it really highlights your uniqueness as a candidate, which will ultimately help you stand out. At this point, you might be thinking, it all sounds easier said than done. How do I actually apply this to my own resume and cover letter? And that's a valid question. For the rest of this presentation, I'm going to take you through an example where we go through a process of editing a fictional resume and cover letter and elevate them from okay to great documents. To help me illustrate an example, I brought along a friend. This is Jane. She's an entry-level accounting professional working towards getting her CPA designation. She's on a hunt for a new role, and to help her with her job search, she attended CPABC's Career Week to meet and network with employers. At the event, she met with a recruiter from Bosa Properties. She had a great conversation with them and became very interested in pursuing a career there. A few weeks later, she noticed that there is a corporate accountant role available at Bosa Properties. She read through the job description and thought, yes, this seems like a great opportunity for me. So she grabs her resume and gets ready to apply. Now, let's look at her resume closely and see if there are any opportunities for improvement. Tip number one for writing an effective resume is the strategic use of the resume's prime real estate. And we're referring to the top 1/3 of the resume. This is where recruiters and hiring managers spend the most time eyeing, so what you put here will decide whether or not they continue reading your resume. Let's zoom in. Jane has her name at the top, followed by her contact information and city of residence. There's no need to include your full address on your resume anymore, as it's your personal information. Just listing your city of residence is sufficient. Right below, Jane has included a summary section. This is a great way to highlight your top skills and qualifications for the job you're applying for. In her summary, she writes, detail-oriented and dedicated accountant with 2 years of experience in financial reporting, bookkeeping, and tax preparation. Currently enrolled in the CPA Professional Education Program. Demonstrates strong analytical skills and a commitment to accuracy and efficiency. Excellent communicator with a proven ability to work collaboratively in team environments. She highlights her years of experience, key tasks she's accomplished, education, and soft skills. While this is a good start, the highlighted section of the summary is a little vague and general. 9 out of 10 resumes a recruiter reads will have a similar statement, so it doesn't really help Jane stand out. To elevate her summary, Jane can quantify her achievements and accomplishments. She goes back to the job description and closely reviews what the employer is asking for. They want someone who can prioritize, work collaboratively with others, has strong attention to detail, and is proactive. Instead of simply stating that I am a collaborative and proactive person with strong attention to detail and excellent time management skills, Jane should think about how she demonstrated these values in her previous work. What results did she bring to the company? What key performance metrics did she meet? What feedback did she receive from her employers? Including these specifics can help her quantify her achievements and make her summary stand out. So Jane takes some time to reflect on her work and think about her achievements. She thinks, well, I did maintain a 98% accuracy rate for monthly bank reconciliation, and my variance analysis resulted in a 5% reduction in overhead costs for ABC Corporation. These are great results to add, not just in her summary, but also throughout her resume. This kind of data will give the recruiters a better idea of your skills and qualifications. So after this process of identifying key skills and values from the job description and coming up with real examples of how she demonstrated these values, Jane was able to update her summary to the following. Detail-oriented and dedicated accountant with 2 years of experience in financial reporting, bookkeeping, and tax preparation. Currently enrolled in the CPA Professional Education Program. Key accomplishments: identified opportunities for ABC Corporation to reduce its overhead costs by 5% and achieved a 98% accuracy rate for bank reconciliation in fiscal year 2023 and 2024. This delivers a lot more value to the readers. Compare this to the original summary that she wrote. Can you tell the difference? This process of Jane identifying key skills and values from the job description and making changes to her resume is what tailoring your application means. It's more than addressing your cover letter to the correct company. By drawing explicit connections between the job description and your experiences, you help recruiters and hiring managers understand why you're the best candidate for this role. The clearer you make it for them, the more effective your resume and cover letter will be. You can see here that Jane has added quantified achievements throughout her resume to showcase the impact of her work. But some tasks just cannot be quantified. For example, Jane assisted in preparing and reviewing financial statements and prepared GST HST returns and assisted with corporate tax files. But she's not sure how to quantify these. In this case, rather than leaving these tasks as they are, Jane can emphasize how they contribute to the organization. For example, assisting with preparing and reviewing financial statements, ensured compliance with regulatory requirements. Similarly, preparing GST HST returns and assisting with corporate tax filings ensured timely and accurate submissions. This approach helps the readers understand the impact of Jane's work and how she contributed to achieving organizational goals. Now, before Jane submits her resume, she needs to ensure it's formatted for both humans and the ATS, or Applicant Tracking System. What does this mean? It means the document needs to be easy to read by humans and easy to process by ATS. Which document do you think is formatted correctly, the left or the right? Regardless of how colorful and visually appealing the right side resume might be, the correctly formatted resume is on the left. The simpler, the better. Resumes with excessive color and design elements can be distracting, difficult to read, and may appear unprofessional. Also, they often do not fare well when processed through the ATS. It is also strongly recommended not to include your headshot in the resume. While this may be a common practice in some parts of Asia and Europe, it's not a standard practice in North America. Additionally, including a headshot can potentially introduce unconscious bias into the hiring process. After updating her resume, Jane is satisfied with how it reflects her skills and accomplishments and how tailored it is to the jobs that she's applying for. Now it's time to focus on her cover letter. Remember, a cover letter is not just a summary of your resume, it's a chance to showcase what makes you unique, your values, and why you're a perfect fit for the company. You want to capture the reader's attention and compel them to delve deeper into your application. Jane understands this and reviews her cover letter. She realizes it reads like any other cover letter a recruiter might come across. It's time for an update to ensure it stands out and effectively communicates her enthusiasm and qualifications. Pause this video to read the cover letter before we edit it. To make her cover letter stand out, she wants to make connections between her values and the company's values. To start, she goes to the company's website to find this, their pillars. Their values are progress, we look for and foster potential in ourselves and in others. Opportunity, we grow by balancing responsibilities with ingenuity. And relationships, we put humans at the center of our work. Jane thinks, okay, they're looking for people with creativity, growth mindset, and those who are people-oriented. Jane continues to explore the website. She comes across a list of other companies within Bosa Properties. She clicks into the Robert Bosa Foundation and finds that Bosa Property does a lot of community work. Jane thinks, hey, I've done some volunteer work at a local tax clinic once. Maybe I can highlight this to show that I also care about people and my community. LinkedIn is another great place to do further company research. For Jane, she comes across the company's recruiter's profile and the company's profile as well, and gains deeper insight into the company's values. Now equipped with this information, Jane feels prepared to align her values with those of the company in her cover letter. This personalized approach will demonstrate her genuine interest in the company and strengthen her connection to the role. The following prompts can help Jane and you write a more interesting cover letter that highlights your uniqueness. Why am I interested in this industry or this company? Do I know someone at this company? How do I know them? Maybe you know someone who works at the company who's been telling you great things, or maybe like Jane, you met a recruiter or a company representative at a networking event. Those are great things to add. What are my values? How does it align with the company's? What is it about this position or company that caught my attention? Is there something that is unique about my work experience? Notice that the focus of these prompts is you. This is your chance to tell your story. Some people will use the cover letter to only mention what they know about the company, like, I'm interested in your company because your values are XYZ. But that doesn't say anything about you and what you bring to the table. Let's see how Jane revised her cover letter using these prompts. This is a revised cover letter, and it is a lot more personalized and interesting to read. Jane highlights how her passion for supporting the community aligns with the company's values. She also mentions meeting the company's recruiter at CPABC's Career Week, which sparked her interest in the organization. This initiative sets her apart from other candidates by demonstrating proactive networking and genuine interest in the company. Additionally, Jane briefly discusses her accomplishments to showcase her capabilities rather than simply summarizing her resume. Pause the video here to read this version of the cover letter. So what did we learn in this presentation? We learned that tailoring your application is key. You want to spoon feed the recruiters and hiring managers by making explicit connections between the job description and your work experience using detailed examples to help them understand that you are the best candidate. We also learned about your resume's prime real estate, which is the top 1/3 of your document. Use this in a way that draws in your audience. We also learned about quantifying your achievements, and when you can't, you are going to talk about how your work contributed to the organization. We also learned about formatting. Format your resume for humans and ATS. Use simple templates that are easy to read and keep that headshot out of your resume. Last but not least, let the cover letter highlight your fit and uniqueness. Don't use it to summarize your resume. Instead, use it to tell your own story. Thank you for watching this webinar. For more events, resources, and articles in career development, visit www.bccpa.ca.